Good morning. Today I get to share one of my favorite Bible stories. But before we do, I want to introduce you to a word that you might not recognize. This is a shofar, and it is a trumpet made out of an animal horn. These were some of the very first woodwind instruments ever used, and they're still used in parts of the world today. I want to share with you the story of the Battle of Jericho. The Israelites had finally gotten to the land that God had promised. They stood outside the tall walls of a city called Jericho. God told Joshua that it was time for them to take over this city. So Joshua told the Israelites about God's plan. Here's what we're going to do. Joshua counted out 7 priests. Each of you will play a shofar. Keep blowing all the time, even if your lips start to hurt. Next, Joshua looked at the soldiers and said, "Grab your weapons and walk in front of the priests. The rest of you, walk behind the priests. Everyone needs to walk very quietly. Any questions? Let's go." The horns were so loud. The people of Jericho could hear them through the thick stone walls of the city. What was happening? The Israelites kept walking. Left, right, their marching feet around the city. The Israelites wondered how God's plan was going to work as they looked up at those thick stone city walls. The Israelites did this for 6 days. The people of Jericho watched every day. They had never seen anything like this. Should they be afraid, or should they laugh? Then, on the 7th day, the Israelites got up at sunrise and walked around the city 7 times. After the 7th time, Joshua told the people to shout right after the priests blew the horns one last time. God's plan was for the walls of the city to fall flat when the Israelites shouted. The Israelites shouted so loud that the ground began to shake, and then the thick stone walls began to shake and crumble, and soon they began to fall to the ground. The wall had come tumbling down, and the Israelites got what God promised. Now, not all walls are built of stone or of brick or of concrete. Sometimes walls are the things that keep us from doing what we want to do or what we should do. Sometimes walls keep us from becoming who we were meant to be. Sometimes we can break down walls all by ourselves, maybe with a little help from our parents. But sometimes we need God's love to help us tear down those walls. So today, I want to say a prayer to God, asking for help tearing down the walls around us. And after the prayer, we're going to listen to the sound of the shofars. Dear God, give us the strength to break down the walls facing us in our community today. The walls of fear, the walls of hate, the walls of illness, the walls of hunger, and the walls of loneliness. Help us break down these walls so that everyone in our community can dwell with you in the promised land. And with that, go out and blow your shofar as loud as you can and cheer for those Chiefs as loud as you can too. Amen.